Shocking General Hospital twist. Spencer and Esme live in secret underground prison. At Five Poppies Resort. The most explosive General Hospital revelation of 2025 has fans reeling as Joss's discovery at the Five Poppies Resort turns the Spencer-Esme storyline completely upside down. In what may be the most jaw-dropping twist in General Hospital history, the August 2025 episodes have delivered a bombshell that no one saw coming. Jocelyn Shax, while on her dangerous WSB mission at the Croatian Five Poppies Resort, has accidentally stumbled upon the discovery that will change everything we thought we knew about Spencer Casadini and Esme Prince's fate. The accidental discovery that changes everything. What started as a routine undercover operation for Joss and Agent Vaughn has exploded into the story of the year. While posing as newlyweds at the luxurious Five Poppies Resort in Croatia, Joss inadvertently caught sight of Dr. Britt Westburn, a woman everyone in Port Charles believed to be dead. But this shocking revelation was just the beginning of a series of discoveries that would rock the very foundation of General Hospital storylines. Vaughn, understanding the gravity of the situation, was forced to make the difficult decision to remove Joss from their current mission. The WSB operation had taken an unexpected turn, and her emotional reaction to seeing Britt alive threatened to compromise their carefully orchestrated cover. However, fate had other plans, as Jason Morgan was already en route to the same location. Drawn by his own investigation into Britt's mysterious survival, Jason and Joss joined forces in dangerous territory. The arrival of Jason Morgan at the Five Poppies Resort created an unexpected alliance between the seasoned enforcer and the novice WSB agent. Despite Vaughn's protests and concerns about operational security, Jason and Joss found themselves working together, their shared connection to Britt and their respective missions creating an unlikely partnership. Their investigation of the resort's grounds led them to explore areas that were clearly off-limits to regular guests. The Five Poppies Resort, which had already proven to be more than just a luxury vacation destination, harbored secrets that went far deeper than anyone had imagined. What they discovered during their systematic search of the property would challenge everything Port Charles residents believed about recent tragic events. As they combed through the resort's extensive grounds, Jason's keen investigative instincts and Joss's fresh perspective proved to be a powerful combination. Their search led them to an area of the resort that seemed deliberately concealed from public view, a section that raised immediate red flags for both investigators. The underground discovery. The breakthrough came when Jason and Joss discovered what appeared to be a hidden entrance to an underground facility. This wasn't simply a basement or storage area, it was a sophisticated underground complex that had been deliberately constructed and concealed beneath the resort's elegant facade. The discovery of this secret bunker immediately raised questions about the true nature of the Five Poppies Resort and the people operating it. As they descended into the underground facility, both Jason and Joss realized they were entering territory far more dangerous than either had anticipated. The corridors were well maintained and clearly in active use, suggesting this wasn't some forgotten relic, but rather a functioning part of whatever operation was being run from the resort. Their exploration of the underground complex led them deeper into what could only be described as a prison facility. The sophisticated security systems, reinforced doors, and institutional lighting made it clear that this was designed to hold people against their will. The implications were staggering. The Five Poppies Resort was not just hiding Britt Westburn, but was apparently serving as some kind of high-security detention facility. The impossible discovery. Nothing could have prepared Jason and Joss for what they found when they reached the holding cells, deep within the underground prison, behind reinforced doors, in what could only be described as sophisticated prison cells. They discovered to people whose presence there defied all logic and challenged everything Port Charles believed about recent tragic events. Spencer Casadini and Esme Prince were very much alive. IMPRISONED in the underground facility beneath the Five Poppies Resort. The young couple, who had been mourned as victims of a tragic boating accident in France, were not only alive, but had been held captive in this secret prison for weeks or possibly months. The emotional impact of this discovery cannot be overstated. Spencer, the beloved son of Nicolas Casadini and heir to the Casadini fortune, had been presumed dead along with Esme after their apparent drowning in French waters. The grief experienced by his family, particularly his grandmother Laura Spencer and his father Nicolas, had been devastating. Yet here he was, very much alive, but clearly having endured significant hardship during his captivity. Spencer's harrowing account. When Jason and Joss found Spencer and Esme, the young Casadini was able to provide details about their ordeal that painted a chilling picture of deception and international intrigue. According to Spencer's account, their supposed deaths in France had been elaborately staged by their captors. Spencer revealed that they had been kidnapped while in France and brought to the secret facility against their will. The boat accident that was supposed to have claimed their lives had been carefully orchestrated to provide cover for their disappearance. Their captors had gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure that no one would come looking for them, using their presumed deaths as the perfect cover for their imprisonment. The sophistication of the operation that had brought them to Croatia was staggering. This wasn't the work of random criminals, but rather a highly organized group with significant resources and international reach. The fact that they had been able to stage deaths convincingly enough to fool authorities in multiple countries spoke to the level of planning and resources involved. Spencer's account also revealed that their captivity had not been without purpose. They had been held for reasons that were still not entirely clear, but it appeared their captors had specific plans for them that went beyond simple ransom or revenge. The young couple had become pawns in a larger game that involved international intrigue and powerful interests. Esme's unexpected gratitude. Perhaps the most surprising aspect of this entire revelation was Esme Prince's reaction to her rescue. Despite the complicated and often antagonistic history between Esme and Joss, the former Port Charles troublemaker expressed genuine gratitude toward her unlikely rescuer. Esme's transformation during her captivity appeared to be significant. The young woman who had once terrorized Port Charles with her schemes and manipulations seemed genuinely changed by her ordeal. Her appreciation for Joss's role in their rescue transcended their previous conflicts and suggested that their shared trauma might have the power to heal old wounds. This unexpected show of gratitude from Esme represented a potential turning point in her character development. Having faced genuine danger and helplessness, she appeared to have gained a new perspective on the importance of human decency and cooperation. Her thanks to Joss, despite their history as enemies, suggested that survival had taught her valuable lessons about what really matters. The return to Port Charles. The rescue operation orchestrated by Jason and Joss represents just the beginning of what promises to be a complex and emotionally charged return to Port Charles for Spencer and Esme. Their reappearance will undoubtedly send shockwaves through the community that had mourned them and moved on from their supposed deaths. For the Casadini family, Spencer's return will bring immeasurable joy, but also raise difficult questions about who was responsible for his kidnapping and why. The revelation that their grief was unnecessary will be both a blessing and a source of anger as they seek answers about who orchestrated this elaborate deception. The broader implications for Port Charles are equally significant. If Spencer and Esme could be kidnapped and held secretly for months, while everyone believed them dead, it raises questions about the security and safety of other residents. The international nature of the conspiracy that led to their captivity suggests threats that extend far beyond the usual Port Charles dangers. Jason and Joss's successful rescue mission will likely earn them recognition within the WSB and Port Charles communities, but it will also put them in the crosshairs of whoever was responsible for the kidnappings. Their interference in what was clearly a sophisticated operation will not go unnoticed or unpunished. The Five Poppies resort storyline has evolved from a simple WSB mission into something far more complex and dangerous, with Britt Westburn's mysterious survival, Spencer and Esme's rescue, and the discovery of an international conspiracy. The Croatian location has become the center of what may be General Hospital's most intricate storyline in years. As Spencer and Esme return to American soil, their reintegration into Port Charles society will undoubtedly be complicated by the trauma they've experienced and the questions surrounding their kidnapping. The ripple effects of their return will be felt throughout the community as relationships are rebuilt, secrets are revealed, and the truth about their captivity slowly emerges. This stunning development proves once again that in the world of General Hospital, death is rarely permanent, and the most shocking twists often come from the most unexpected sources. The Spencer-Esme storyline has been completely transformed, setting the stage for months of compelling drama as Port Charles deals with the aftermath of this incredible revelation. Next, we will learn about the explosive alliance between Dante Falconeri and Lulu Spencer as they take on the formidable Liesel Obrecht in a fierce custody showdown over their beloved son, Rocco Corinthos. This high-stakes drama has the entire Port Charles community buzzing, and fans are on the edge of their seats wondering if this united front could finally reignite the flames of one of daytime TV's most unforgettable romances. Liesel's shocking assertion that she's Rocco's rightful grandmother in the long-buried scandal of her daughter Britt Westburn's embryo theft from years past has ignited a firestorm of emotions. Picture this: Britt, in a desperate bid for motherhood, secretly swiped embryos that were meant for Dante and Lulu, leading to Rocco's complicated origins. Now, Liesel is leveraging that twisted history to insert herself into the boy's life, claiming a familial bond that's as audacious as it is infuriating. Dante and Lulu, once torn apart by heartbreak, are channeling their shared outrage into a powerful partnership. But could this be the catalyst that revives their epic Lanti love story? After enduring a messy divorce, Lulu's devastating coma that left her sidelined for years, and the gut-wrenching tragedy of Sam McCall's untimely death, which shook Dante to his core, their collaboration feels like a pivotal moment destined to rewrite their fates. Imagine the tension in the air as they plot their next moves, their eyes locking in a way that hints at unresolved passion. Will this battle against Liesel pull them back into each other's arms, or will it only widen the chasm of their past wounds? Diving deeper into this riveting saga, Dante and Lulu's bold stand against Liesel has set fan forums ablaze with excitement and speculation, fueling hopes for a full-blown Lanti comeback that's been teased for seasons. Liesel, ever the cunning manipulator, is shamelessly cozying up to young Rocco, showering him with gifts and stories of her grandmotherly affection, all while glossing over her complicity in Britt's embryo heist that nearly destroyed Dante and Lulu's dreams of family. This isn't just meddling, it's a calculated invasion, stirring up painful echoes of the couple's history filled with kidnappings like the time Rocco was snatched as a baby and the infertility struggles that pushed them to the brink. Remember those dark days when Lulu's desperation for a child led to risky decisions, and Dante's unwavering support was the only constant? Their alliance now includes a surprising ally in Laura Collins, Lulu's mother, who attempted a mediation session that backfired spectacularly, only to highlight how united Dante and Lulu truly are. In a heartfelt scene at the Quartermain mansion, Laura urged peace, but Liesel's refusal to back down forced Dante and Lulu to link arms, their protective instincts sensing up like never before. Fans are interpreting this as a golden opportunity for emotional healing, perhaps even a second chance at the family they once envisioned, complete with cozy evenings at home and shared parenting triumphs. Yet, beneath the surface, there's an undercurrent of doubt. Dante's lingering sorrow over losing Sam, who was his rock during Lulu's absence, and Lulu's fresh scars from emerging from her coma into a world that's moved on without her. Could these unresolved griefs sabotage any romantic sparks, turning their teamwork into nothing more than a temporary truce? As the battle lines sharpen in Port Charles, Dante and Lulu's fierce protectiveness over Rocco is reigniting the undeniable chemistry that made their love story legendary, with fans dissecting every glance and heated exchange for signs of rekindled desire. Think back to their glory days, stolen kisses in the midst of chaos, Dante's heroic rescues, and Lulu's fiery spirit that always drew him in. It's all echoing in their current confrontations with Liesel. But Liesel isn't backing down. She's defiantly asserting her bond with Rocco, perhaps even plotting secret visits or legal maneuvers to solidify her claim, testing the fragility of Dante and Lulu's newfound harmony. To lay it out plainly, this conflict has the potential to either mend their fractured hearts or shatter them beyond repair, especially with the added layer of intrigue from recent scandals. On the tail end of the paternity and adoption uproar involving Giovanni Joe Palmieri, where revelations about biological ties rocked the town and left Lulu's credibility with Dante a bit shaky. After all, her past decisions in family matters haven't always been spotless. This united front feels like a make-or-break test. Will their shared determination spark a passionate revival, complete with heartfelt confessions under the stars? Or will the pressure of old resentments cause it to fizzle out, leaving them as co-parents at best? General Hospital is masterfully delving into the heart of this dilemma, exploring whether Dante and Lulu's stand against Liesel will fan the flames of romance, or merely expose the raw edges of their old wounds. The fanbase is passionately divided, with die-hard Lanti supporters rooting for a sweeping reunion that could include surprise dates, therapy sessions to unpack their traumas, and maybe even a vow renewal ceremony at the iconic Windermere Castle. Yet, there are valid fears that the shadows of their past dance guilt over moving on with Sam during Lulu's coma, and Lulu's disorientation from years lost in unconsciousness might derail everything we've been dreaming of for these star-crossed lovers. Adding to the mix, Liesel's unyielding campaign could introduce new twists, like enlisting allies from her shady past or uncovering more secrets about the embryo theft that tie into broader Port Charles mysteries. Do you believe they can weather this storm and rediscover their way back to each other before the year wraps up? Perhaps with a dramatic holiday reconciliation that melts our hearts. Or will the writers keep us in suspense, dangling the inevitable happily ever after just out of reach, building tension for even bigger payoffs down the line? Next, we will learn about the whirlwind challenges facing Mayor Laura Collins as she juggles her demanding role in Port Charles politics with a family crisis that's shaking the foundations of her loved ones' lives. Amid the chaos of governing a city rife with intrigue and her long-standing ties to the enigmatic mob boss Sonny Corinthos, Laura's schedule is packed to the brim with council meetings, public appearances, and behind-the-scenes negotiations that keep her on her toes from dawn till dusk. Yet, true to her fiercely protective nature, she's always ready to hit pause on everything when her family calls out for help, channeling her grandmotherly wisdom and unyielding resolve to safeguard those she holds dear. Right now, the spotlight is on her grandson Rocco Falconeri, a bright young boy who's stumbled upon some deeply unsettling truths about his origins, leaving him grappling with an identity crisis that could alter his world forever. Imagine the confusion swirling in Rocco's mind as fragments of his past come to light, prompting late-night ponderings and a quest for answers that no child should have to face alone. Delving into the heart of this emotional turmoil on General Hospital, Rocco has just uncovered the shocking reality that he was actually born to the late Dr. Britt Westburn, a revelation that's as heartbreaking as it is bizarre. It all stems from Britt's desperate act years ago, when she covertly stole an embryo belonging to Dante Falconeri and Lulu Spencer during their agonizing fertility journey, implanting it in herself to fulfill her own dreams of motherhood amid her own health battles. For months, Britt nurtured and raised the baby under the name Ben, weaving him into her life with tender care, all while Dante and Lulu remained in the dark, their hearts aching from what they believed was a failed IVF attempt. The truth exploded like a bombshell when the couple finally pieced together the clues, perhaps through a tip from a hospital insider or a DNA test that confirmed their suspicions, leading to a dramatic custody battle that saw them reclaim their son and christen him Rocco, honoring family traditions with a name that symbolized strength and resilience. Up until this bombshell dropped, Rocco had lived blissfully unaware of these shadowy beginnings, enjoying a typical childhood filled with school adventures, soccer games, and family outings in Port Charles. But now, armed with this knowledge, he's overflowing with questions about his biological ties, his other mother, and how it all reshapes his sense of self, turning family dinners into tense interrogations. In a twist that caught everyone off guard, Rocco took matters into his own hands by secretly contacting Dr. Liesel Obrecht, Britt's formidable mother, in a bid to uncover every detail about the woman who carried him. Liesel, with her trademark blend of sharp wit and lingering grief over her daughter's presumed death, Britt has been thought gone for years following a tragic incident tied to Port Charles. Underbellygerly obliged, sharing vivid anecdotes of Britt's life, from her medical triumphs to her personal struggles, perhaps even showing Rocco old photos or mementos like a cherished locket that Britt once wore. This clandestine outreach flew under the radar of Dante and Lulu, who were horrified upon discovering it, their parental instincts kicking into overdrive as they envisioned Liesel's influence, poisoning their son's innocent mind with her history of schemes and manipulations. They swiftly demanded that Liesel back off, forbidding any further contact in a heated confrontation that echoed through the halls of General Hospital, emphasizing their fear that her involvement could dredge up more pain from the embryo theft saga. However, as Lulu's own mother, Laura stepped in with a voice of reason, cautioning that outright banning Liesel might only fuel Rocco's curiosity and drive him to more secretive measures, potentially leading to risky online searches or unsupervised meetings. Recognizing the need for a more controlled approach, Laura took charge by orchestrating a pivotal family summit involving herself, Liesel, Lulu, and Dante, aiming to bridge the gaps and establish boundaries in a neutral setting like her mayoral office, adorned with portraits of Port Charles history to remind everyone of the town's resilient spirit. The gathering quickly heated up, with accusations flying, Dante accusing Liesel of overstepping, Lulu voicing her betrayal over the embryo theft's lingering shadow, and Liesel defending her right to connect with her grandson through tearful pleas about honoring Britt's memory. But amid the storm, cooler heads won out, Perhaps after Laura shared a personal story from her own turbulent past, like her experiences with hidden family secrets involving her son Nicholas, they hammered out a tentative agreement allowing Liesel supervised visits with Rocco, but only under Dante and Lulu's watchful eyes, maybe limited to public spots like the park or coffee shops to ensure transparency. Still, Laura confessed her deep-seated mistrust of Liesel, vowing to monitor the situation closely, her mayoral instincts alerting her to potential ulterior motives, such as Liesel using this access to unearth more about Brit's fate or stir up old vendettas. Given Laura's overflowing platelet-balancing budget crises, Sonny's latest entanglements that might involve shadowy deals at the docks, and community events like the annual Nurses' Ball simply lacks the bandwidth to personally shadow Liesel's every move. This predicament opens the door for her to enlist a trusted ally, and who better than her longtime confidant and sharp-tongued attorney friend, Scott Baldwin. Scott, with his colorful history as a legal eagle in Port Charles, shares a complicated romantic past with Liesel. Their once passionate affair fizzled out amid betrayals and clashing ambitions, leaving behind a trail of unresolved emotions that could spark anew. Perhaps Laura envisions Scott as the perfect watchdog, using his investigative skillshint from years of courtroom battles and private eye work to discreetly track Liesel's activities, reporting back on any suspicious behavior like unexplained phone calls or meetings with shady contacts from her mad scientist days. If Scott makes a triumphant return to town, maybe arriving in a flashy car with tales from his adventures elsewhere, it could not only help keep Liesel in check, but also reignite their old flame, leading to charged encounters filled with banter and lingering glances that hint at second chances. As this storyline unfolds on General Hospital, we're left pondering some burning questions that could shift the dynamics in Port Charles. Should young Rocco simply let sleeping dogs lie when it comes to exploring his connection to Brit, avoiding the emotional minefield that might disrupt his stable life with Dante and Lulu? And what explosive reaction might we see from him if the truth emerges that Brit is actually alive and thriving in hiding, perhaps plotting her own comeback with secrets that could upend everything? Is this the perfect moment for Scott Baldwin to swoop back into town, not just as a guardian against Liesel's schemes, but as a potential romantic redeemer, paving the way for a heartfelt reunion that mends their broken bond? Drop your predictions in the comments, hit that like button if you're hooked on these twists, and subscribe for all the latest scoops from ABC General Hospital spoilers.